Time now for today's Monday Mental Health Moment, sponsored by Valley Healthcare System.
Joining us now from Valley Healthcare, we have Zoe Reid on the show. How are you today, Zoe?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here this morning.
We're thrilled to have you. You do such great work for this great state of West Virginia. And tell us a little bit about your title. You are the Lead Crisis Stabilization Specialist.
I know, it's a little bit of a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, but I think I can kind of gather in my head what you do. But tell us a little bit about what you actually do there.
Absolutely. So the role of the Crisis Stabilization Specialist at our residential crisis unit is primarily to, as the title says, assist a client in stabilizing their crisis. We primarily provide counseling, both on an individual and a therapeutic group basis. We also help a lot with discharge planning, making sure that they are prepared for their next steps once their crisis is immediately stabilized. As the lead crisis stabilization specialist, I primarily take charge of training the other staff members as they come onto the unit, make sure that they are prepared at all sorts of different levels for the situations they're going to face, the processes of their job, and how best to interact with these high-risk clients.
It's amazing. And I mean, can you describe what a crisis looks like? I'm just curious. You know, I think of crisis, that can mean so many different things. I mean, do people literally just come in the door, or do they call you and say, I'm breaking down? And what is the actual first step that happens when something like that happens?
So seeing as we are a medical facility, the first step that clients typically have to take is that they need to go to a medical facility like an emergency room for medical clearance to make sure that they are physically stable enough to come onto our unit.
That makes
But
sense.
as for what a crisis really looks like, we manage all sorts of different crises on our unit. We handle clients that require detox for substance use problems. We handle immediate risk suicide patients, people that are bipolar, schizophrenic and need medication adjustments, people who even experience homicidal ideations and need some counseling to help them work through that.
Well, so you have to be prepared for a myriad of different things at all times, and you never know what you're going to get on any given day. This can happen pretty much at any time, right? So I mean, and so what does the treatment actually look like when you're doing this with the patients? What is that? What is the next step? How do you get them stable? You know?
Of course. So considering we do serve a very wide demographic of clients on our crisis unit, we need to make sure that our therapy focuses on all of these different issues as much as possible. You know, we teach a lot of things like basic coping skills in addition to the medication management that they receive from our medical team. We make sure that they have the individual attention that they need, as well as the group therapy sessions. I feel like it's really important that the clients interact with each other. You know, they let each other hear their stories in those senses. We are able to really reach them in that way a little bit better when they're interacting with each other. And, you know, even though they do have all of these different things that are, you know, co-occurring at times, we have clients that are dual diagnosis, mental health, and substance use. So.
Wow. I mean, how do you prepare for something like that? What's your background?
I have a psychology degree with a double minor in gender studies and philosophy from Fairmont State.
Aren't you so glad we have such brilliant people in the state helping us? I mean, that's amazing. And so after you get this treatment, after you've kind of stabilized the situation, if you will, what are the next steps moving forward after that point?
Discharge planning is one of the primary roles that I actually do on the unit. I feel like preparing a client for their next steps is really, really important. You know, they get kind of comfortable in this inpatient environment where everything is really structured and they have a lot of support, and then you kind of just turn them loose out onto the world where they go back to all of these triggering situations.
Exactly.
So we need to make sure that they are set up with outpatient services, sometimes intensive outpatient services, you know, a therapist in their area, a therapist through Valley Healthcare Systems, medication management. Sometimes that even involves something like a primary care provider or you know, further case management services.
So if someone at home is realizing they're going through a crisis and they need some help right away, do they have to have a file set up with you guys already before they can even encroach the topic of getting help with you guys?
So they absolutely do not need to have a file. We are ready to take anyone at any time. Like I said, the only thing that they need to do is go to the local emergency room to get medical clearance. But Valley also offers a crisis hotline in addition to the National Crisis Hotline. If you need help right then and there, you don't even have time to go to the emergency room, we always encourage people to use those resources that are available to them until they can get to our safe environment where we can help treat them.
So Zoe, you know, somebody could be watching at home right now that might need some help. They might be going through a crisis. Give them the information as to how they can get in touch with you guys, the website, the phone number, or maybe even the physical address.
Absolutely. So our phone number is 304-225-2280. We're a 24/7, 365 facility that are always ready and willing to help you. If you need to visit our campus, we are located at 10 Crosswinds Drive right here in Fairmont, West Virginia. Like I said, 304-225-2280. 888-2280.
Zoe Reid, thank you so much for all that you're doing for all these great people here in this great state of West Virginia. We really appreciate you and Valley Healthcare Systems, and we'll be right back after this.